And a federal judge blocking Kilmar Abrego-Garcia's deportation through at least tomorrow and considering extending it even more. Abrego-Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March and then brought back to face human smuggling charges that were filed after his removal. He's pleaded not guilty, and now he's back in ICE custody, and the Trump administration is threatening to deport him again, this time to Uganda. And a federal judge blocking Kilmar Abrego-Garcia's deportation through at least tomorrow and considering extending it even more. Abrego-Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March and then brought back to face human smuggling charges that were filed after his removal. He's pleaded not guilty, and now he's back in ICE custody, and the Trump administration is threatening to deport him again, this time to Uganda. Homeland Security officials determined to deport him, releasing this video with the caption, "He doesn't belong here. He won't be staying here." Joining me now is Abrego-Garcia's immigration attorney, Simon Sandoval Moshenberg. Simon, thank you for being here with us. And first of all, have you spoken with Kilmar Abrego since he was detained by ICE yesterday? And can you walk us through what happened yesterday? It sounds like maybe you expected an arrest, but perhaps not at that time.
Yeah, he had been served with a notice requiring him to come to the ICE office in Baltimore at 8 a.m. on Monday. The stated reason was for an interview. That was obviously a lie, because when we got up to the 6th floor, the entire floor was closed off just for him. And they took him into custody within literally about 2 minutes of us getting up to the 6th floor. We weren't surprised, but it was very disappointing. There was no need for them to take him into custody. He was already on electronic monitoring, essentially the equivalent of house arrest. And the stated purpose for taking him into custody is now to deport him to Uganda. It's starting to become clear that they haven't even worked out a plan to do that yet. All they have is sort of a half-baked idea. So that's why we had to rush into court to ensure that no deportation would take place to any country, whether it's Uganda, whether it's London, England, if that country has not provided sufficient assurances that they won't redeport him on to El Salvador, the country where he was already tortured earlier this year.
So it sounds like your concern here is perhaps that this first deportation might be a bit of a layover and that he may end up somewhere else. What is the latest information that you have on where else he could go? Is it Uganda, or are there other countries involved as well?
Well, interestingly, just as recently as last week, we received, and the U.S. government received, an offer of refugee status for Mr. Abrego-Garcia from Costa Rica, which would have assured that he could live in Costa Rica, free from custody, and most importantly, again, guaranteed that he would not be redeported to El Salvador.
We know the DHS posted a video of your client being escorted by officers. There's another post calling him a Ugandan man. What is your response to these posts?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if we had a government that takes serious matters seriously, but clearly we don't. Look, I mean, when push comes to shove, it's been, 5 courts now that have looked at this case, right? Since the immigration judge in 2019 all the way through to the U.S. Supreme Court in April, and now 2 judges in the Middle District of Tennessee just last month. And not a single one of them has agreed with the government's, hyperbolic contention that this guy is some kind of big old gang leader or something like that. When judges actually look at the evidence, it all falls apart.
There was a removal order, though. So what is the latest now on the next deportation hearing? Do we know the status of any of that?
So tomorrow morning, we're going to be back in front of the district court in Maryland just to set a schedule, just to set a calendar for the case. But the judge has ordered that he not be removed from Virginia. He's currently detained at a detention center in Virginia. And the judge has ordered that he not be removed from Virginia, sort of pending the proceedings. Now, the notion that we need to file a lawsuit to get an order from a federal judge that someone can't be deported while it's being determined whether or not they can be deported, right, is crazy that we have to file a lawsuit for that. But that's where we are these days. So that's what we did.
All right. So we'll be watching closely for tomorrow. Simon, thank you for joining us today.